Bernard Jean-Étienne Arnault was born on March 5, 1949, in Roubaix, a textile town in northern France, nestled near the Belgian border, where the air carried the rhythmic clatter of mechanical looms, their steel frames shuddering in red brick factories, the acrid scent of coal dust from smokestacks, and the faint squeak of cobblestones under horse-drawn carts delivering bolts of cotton, wool and linen, wrapped in coarse burlap, their edges fraying, their weights marked in chalk. Roubaix in the post-war years was a gritty hub of industry, its 100,000 souls bound by faith, labor and resilience, its streets, Rue de Lannoy, Rue de l'Alma, alive with the chatter of workers in Lille's patois, their wooden clogs echoing on wet pavement, their hands stained with indigo dye, their faces etched with the grind of 12-hour shifts, their wool caps damp from drizzle. The scent of fresh baguettes from Boulangerie du Bois, its ovens glowing at 4 a.m., mingled with factory soot, the church bells of Église Saint-Pierre tolling over a community rebuilding from the scars of World War II. Its buildings pockmarked from Luftwaffe raids, their plaster crumbling, their windows boarded with plywood, per Le Monde, 1950. The town's textile trade, once Europe's pride, was fraying under competition from Asia's cheaper mills, with factories like Vandier and Fils, Montebossut, and Prouvost shedding 5,000 jobs between 1945 and 1955, their smokestacks dimming, their windows cracked, their looms slowing, their steel frames rusting, a decline that hung like fog over Roubaix's tenements, their red brick facades crumbling, their laundry lines sagging under damp wool shirts per Annecy 1956. Bernard's father, Jean-Léon Arnault, was a civil engineer, a man of precision and quiet pride, running Ferret Savinel, a family construction firm founded by his father-in-law, Étienne Savinel, in 1926. Its offices at 8 Rue de la Bourse, a cluttered maze of oak desks, blueprints, slide rules, and rotary phones. Their Bakelite receivers heavy, the clack of Olivetti typewriters echoing, the scent of fresh ink, sawdust, and Jean's Gauloise cigarettes, a blue pack, its paper crinkled, its filter tips yellowed, lingering in the air, the hum of a ceiling fan stirring papers. Jean's work built roads, bridges, and schools across Nord-Pas-de-Calais, his hands calloused from site visits, his navy suits modest, their cuffs frayed, their buttons horn, his voice firm but kind, his pride in his craft a quiet lesson for his son, his ledger books balanced to the centime, his contracts signed with a Mont Blanc fountain pen, its gold nib glinting under a green-shaded desk lamp, its ink bottle half-empty, per Forestier. He oversaw projects like the Roubaix-Tourcoing railway bridge, its steel girders hoisted in 1948, the clang of rivets echoing, the scent of tar, sweat, and wet cement thick, his clipboard scrawled with timelines, his eyes scanning workers, his voice sharp, "Faster! We're behind. Align those beams." His wool coat damp, his boots scuffed, per a colleague's memoir in Nord-Eclair 1950. Jean's ledgers, bound in green leather, recorded 200,000 francs in 1949 revenue, per Forestier, his pencil marking costs for cement, 50 francs per ton, steel, 120 francs per metre, and labour, 10 francs per hour. His calculations neat, his eraser crumbs scattered, his glasses fogging, his breath steady, his pride quiet, his heart set on stability, his hands steady, Père Le Figaro 1995. Bernard's mother, Marie-Joseph Savinel, was a pianist, her fingers dancing over the keys of a Pleyel upright in their living room, its mahogany polished, its pedals creaking, its tuning pins tight, filling their home with Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat, Op. 9 No. 2, Debussy's Clair de Lune, and Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2, their notes cascading like rain, their trills delicate, her love for Christian Dior's haute couture a spark that lit young Bernard's imagination, her silk scarves, Dior's Miss Dior, their floral patterns hand-painted, jasmine and rose, their edges hemmed with silk thread, draped over the piano, catching the light of a crystal chandelier, their prisms casting rainbows, their edges frayed from years of devotion, their silk whispering under her touch, per Forestier. She wore Dior's J'adore perfume, its notes of jasmine, rose, ilang ilang, and vanilla a faint whisper. Her wristwatch, a Jaeger LeCoultre, its face mother of pearl, ticking softly, her hair pinned with a tortoiseshell comb, her cardigan cashmere, its buttons pearl, per Vogue 1990. Nadège Forestier paints a tender, almost cinematic scene. Bernard, a slight boy with wide, curious eyes, neatly combed chestnut hair, and a starched cotton shirt buttoned to the collar, its cuffs crisp, sitting cross-legged on a worn Persian rug, its blues and reds faded, its fringes knotted, in their Catholic home at 12 Rue du Général Leclerc, the glow of a single brass lamp casting shadows on wood-panelled walls, their oak polished to a sheen with beeswax, its scent mingling with coal dust from a basement furnace, listening to his mother's music, her fingers coaxing melodies that seemed to float like petals, her Dior scarf shimmering, her voice soft. Listen, Bernard. Feel the story in the notes. Let them carry you. Her eyes warm, her smile a beacon in the dim room, her hands pausing to adjust his collar, her fingers cool, her nails polished, the air cool from an open window, the scent of rain, lilacs, and wet cobblestones drifting, the faint creak of floorboards under her foot on the pedal, the hum of the furnace rumbling, the ticking of a mantel clock, its brass pendulum swinging, its face Roman numerals, its chimes soft, the patter of March rain on slate tiles outside, the glow of a street lamp filtering through lace curtains, their patterns floral, hand-stitched by Marie-Joseph, Père Forestier. I can feel the warmth of that room, the scent of polished oak, beeswax from candlesticks, their wax dripping, and fresh brioche cooling on a kitchen rack, its crust golden, the faint clatter of Colette, their maid, washing dishes, her apron cotton, her hands red, and it stirs memories of my own childhood, those quiet evenings when a parent's passion became a child's dream, a moment that grounds us in love, my heart swelling with nostalgia, my eyes wet with the tenderness of it all, my breath catching at the beauty of their bond, my chest tightening with gratitude for those fleeting moments. The Arnauts were devout, their Sundays filled with Mass at Église Saint-Pierre, its Gothic stone walls cool against summer heat, its stained glass glowing with scenes of St. Peter's martyrdom, their reds and blues vivid, its pews creaking under wool coats, their buttons horn, Bernard's small hands clutching a leather-bound prayer book, its pages yellowed, its spine cracked, its ribbon marker red, his mind wandering to the world beyond Roubaix's grey, rain-slicked streets, the priest's Latin, Dominus vobiscum, a distant hum, his cassock rustling, the scent of incense, myrrh, and melted candle wax lingering, his knees aching on the stone floor, his heart stirred by the organ's chords, its pipes trembling, its notes soaring, his eyes tracing the altar's gold crucifix, its base marble, his breath shallow, his thoughts drifting to futures beyond the textile town smokestacks, his wool sweater itching, his socks slipping Père Forestier. After Mass, they lingered in the churchyard, its gravel crunching, its yew trees clipped, Jean's voice low. Faith keeps us steady, Bernard. His hand on his son's shoulder, Marie-Joseph's smile warm, her Dior scarf bright, her gloves kid leather, the scent of her J'adore lingering, Père Lapointe 1995. Jean's success afforded a comfortable but modest life. A 3-story house with lace curtains, their patterns roses, a Renault 4CV parked outside, its chrome dull under coal dust, its seats vinyl, Colette cooking pot-au-feu in a copper pot, its aroma of thyme, bay leaves, and carrots filling the house, her hands ironing Bernard's shirts with starch, their collars crisp, their cuffs folded, but it was grounded in faith, discipline, and work, the family dining at a mahogany table, its surface scarred from decades, its legs turned, the clink of silverware on Limoges porcelain, their plates chipped, their edges gold, punctuating Jean's lessons. Effort builds character, Bernard, nothing's given. His voice firm over a plate of coq au vin, the steam rising, its sauce rich, his fork pausing, his eyes meeting his son's, his glasses fogging, Bernard nodding, his small frame straightening, his hands folded, his napkin linen, his heart absorbing the weight of duty, his eyes bright with a quiet fire to prove himself, his fingers tracing the table's grain, his mind sketching futures of grandeur, his breath quickening with purpose, his cheeks flushed under the chandelier's glow, its bulbs dim, per Forestier. Jean carved the chicken, his knife sharp, his hand steady, his voice soft. "Tell me about school, son," Bernard's voice clear. "I solved a geometry proof, papa." His eyes bright, his heart racing. Jean's nod subtle. "Good, keep pushing," per Nord Eclair 1990. I feel his resolve, a boy eager to earn his father's nod, a spark that would fuel a lifetime of ambition. And it reminds me of moments I strove for approval, my heart racing with purpose, my hands trembling with the need to succeed, my chest tightening at the weight of expectation, my eyes wet with the memory of those who believed in me, my breath catching at the purity of his drive. Bernard was a curious, disciplined child, his mind sharp as a tailor's shears, his energy boundless, a boy who saw the world as a puzzle to be mastered, its pieces waiting for his hands to fit them together, his imagination a kaleidoscope of structures, systems, and beauty, his heart a furnace of quiet dreams, his eyes always scanning, his fingers always moving. Forestier describes him at 7 in their backyard, a modest patch of grass framed by lilac bushes, their purple blooms heavy with dew, their scent sweet, their leaves glossy, and a low stone wall mossy from years of rain, its mortar crumbling, its stones uneven, building miniature bridges from twigs, string, and scraps of plywood scavenged from Ferret Savinel's sites, their edges splintered, their surfaces rough, his fingers nimble, his brow furrowed, his tongue peeking out, his eyes narrowing, testing their strength with pebbles, their surfaces smooth from riverbeds, their colors gray and brown, his laugh bright, a high, clear chime, when they held, his frown deep, his lips pursed, his eyes squinting when they collapsed under a fistful of stones, his hands brushing dirt, his cotton shirt untucked, its buttons bone, his socks slipping, his knees grass-stained, his mind rethinking angles, his breath quickening with focus, his cheeks flushed under April sun per Forestier. The air smelled of damp earth, spring blooms and distant factory smoke, the clatter of a nearby construction site, Ferret Savinel's cranes hoisting girders for a Roubaix school, their steel groaning, their cables taut, mixing with the chirp of sparrows, the faint bark of a neighbor's collie, its chain rattling, and the hum of a Vespa on Rue du Général Leclerc, its exhaust trailing, the scent of petrol faint. And I can picture young Bernard, his chestnut hair mussed, his cheeks flushed, his heart swelling with the thrill of creation, a joy I felt tinkering with my own projects, the rush of making something work, the pride of a child's discovery, my heart racing with his, my hands trembling with excitement, my eyes wet with the purity of his joy, my breath catching at the magic of his curiosity. Jean watched from the patio, his pipe puffing curls of grey smoke, its cherrywood warm, his tweed jacket patched at the elbows, its buttons horn, his nod subtle but enough to make Bernard's chest puff, his voice low. "Good, son, but make it stronger, think like an engineer, test every joint." His words a challenge that lit Bernard's eyes, his hands already reaching for more twigs, his fingers knotting string, his mind sketching sturdier designs, his breath shallow, his determination a spark that burned bright, his heart racing with purpose, his loafers scuffed, his wrists thin per Forestier. Bernard rebuilt the bridge, adding cross braces, his fingers trembling, his eyes bright, his laugh soft when it held 5 pebbles, Jean's nod deeper. "Better, son," his pipe pausing, his eyes warm, per Le Figaro 1995. Marie-Joseph indulged his curiosity, sewing him a small leather tool belt for his 8th birthday, its pockets hand-stitched, their thread waxed, holding a toy hammer, screwdriver, and a miniature tape measure, its canvas strap fraying, its buckle brass, her hands guiding his to hammer imaginary nails into a pine plank, its grain rough, its knots dark, her laughter soft, a melodic trill, the scent of her Dior J'adore perfume, jasmine, rose, ylang-ylang, vanilla lingering, her cardigan cashmere, her skirt wool, her voice encouraging. "You'll build great things, mon petit, bridges, towers, dreams, anything you imagine." Her eyes warm, her fingers brushing his hair, her silk scarf slipping, her tortoiseshell comb glinting, his heart swelling with her belief, his smile wide, his cheeks flushed, his hands gripping the hammer, its handle wood, his eyes bright, his breath quickening per Forestier. She gave him a notebook, its cover blue, its pages graph. "Write your ideas, Bernard," her voice soft, his pencil sketching bridges, their arches curved, his handwriting neat, his eraser crumbs scattered per Vogue 1990. I'm smiling at that bond, a mother nurturing her son's spark, my heart warming at the memory of my own encouragers, their belief a fuel that still burns, my eyes wet with gratitude for those who saw my potential, my chest tightening with love, my breath catching at their tenderness, my hands trembling with the weight of their faith. Bernard excelled at Lycée Maxence van der Merch, Roubaix's best school, a red brick building with tall windows, their panes warped, their sills chipped and creaking wooden stairs, their varnish worn, their balusters loose, his notebooks filled with neat equations, his handwriting precise as a draftsman's, his margins ruled with a steel ruler, his teachers praising his logic, his hand raised in math class, his voice steady, a clear tenor, as he solved quadratic equations on the chalkboard, its surface pitted, its tray dusty, the scent of chalk dust, old wood desks, and wax polish filling the air, his classmates whispering, "He's too serious," but nodding in respect, their pencils pausing, their exercise books open, their pages smudged, his solutions elegant, his eraser crumbs scattered, his loafers scuffed, his tie loose, his shirt starched per Forestier, his math teacher, Monsieur Dubois, a wiry man with horn-rimmed glasses, a tweed vest and a pocket watch, wrote in a 1959 report, "Bernard's mind is a machine, precise, relentless, but his heart seeks beauty. He sees numbers as art," per Nordeclair 1990, his chalk-stained hands clapping Bernard's shoulder, his voice gruff, "Well done, Arnaud. Keep that fire." Bernard's smile rare but warm, his heart racing with pride, his eyes bright, his breath quickening, his hands clutching his notebook, its cover worn per Forestier. In history class, he memorized Napoleon's campaigns, his pencil underlining Austerlitz, strategy wins, his voice soft, his eyes bright per a classmate's memoir in Le Point 2000. Music was his escape, his mother's gift, a thread that wove beauty into his disciplined world, a refuge from Roubaix's grey skies, their clouds heavy with rain, their light dim. Forestier recounts him at 10, practicing piano in their living room, his small hands stumbling over Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, its first movement slow, its notes trembling, the keys cool under his fingers, their ivory yellowed, their edges chipped, his mother's voice soft. "Feel the notes, Bernard. Let them breathe. Let them tell their story." Her hand on his shoulder, her silk scarf brushing his arm, her Dior J'adore perfume a faint comfort, her cardigan slipping, the notes faltering when he hit a wrong chord, his eyes wet, his breath catching, his hands pausing, his shoulders slumping, her smile erasing his doubt, her fingers guiding his to the right keys, her voice a whisper, "Again, mon cher, with love, with your heart." Her eyes warm, her scarf slipping, her hair pinned, the air cool from an open window, the scent of rain, coal dust and wet earth drifting, the mantel clock ticking, its brass pendulum swinging, its face Roman numerals, per Forestier. He practiced 30 minutes daily, his fingers stiff, his wrists aching, his eyes tracing sheet music, its pages yellowed, its notes smudged, his heart swelling when he played a passage clean, his smile rare, his breath quickening, per Vogue 1995. I'm moved by that moment, a mother teaching her son to find beauty and precision, a lesson that would shape his empire, my heart stirring at the thought of my own mentors, their words still guiding me, their patience a gift that shaped my soul, my chest tightening with gratitude, my eyes wet with the tenderness of their bond, my breath catching at the beauty of it all, my hands trembling with their love. He read voraciously Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, Alexandre Dumas' The Count of Monte Cristo, Stendhal's The Red and the Black, Balzac's Père Goriot, Flaubert's Madame Bovary, Zola's Germinal. Their tales of redemption, ambition, cunning, betrayal, desire and struggle fueling his dreams, his fingers smudged with ink, his eyes wide under a blanket's glow, its wool scratchy, its edges frayed, the Roubaix night silent but for the distant whistle of a factory closing its shift, the creak of his bed frame, the hum of a street lamp outside, its bulb flickering, his heart racing with visions of a world beyond the textile town's smokestacks, his mind sketching futures of grandeur, his breath shallow with possibility, his hands clutching the book, its spine cracking, its pages dog-eared per Forestier. His favourite was The Count of Monte Cristo, its hero Edmond Dante, a model of cunning and patience, his revenge a blueprint, Bernard's pencil underlining passages, weight and hope, his handwriting neat, his eraser crumbs scattered, his heart stirred, his eyes bright, his ambition a fire that burned beneath his calm, his breath quickening, per a classmate's memoir in Le Figaro 2000. He wrote in his notebook, "Plan, wait, strike," his pencil sharp, his eyes fierce, per Vogue 1990. But Bernard was reserved, his emotions guarded behind a polite smile, his classmates calling him Le Sérieux, his laughter rare but warm, a soft chuckle, his Catholic upbringing a quiet anchor, his heart yearning for a stage where he could shine, his mind sketching empires amidst Roubaix's modest streets, his hands clutching a rosary, its ebony beads cool, its silver crucifix small, his prayers silent. "Lord, guide my path, show me my purpose," his breath steady, his eyes fixed on the ceiling, its plaster cracked, its corners cobwebbed per Forestier. He lit a candle at bedtime, its wax dripping, its flame flickering, his voice soft. "For maman, for papa." His heart calm, his eyes wet per Le Point 1995. I feel his quiet fire, a boy balancing duty and dreams, my heart racing with his ambition, my chest tightening with his resolve, my eyes wet with the purity of his hope, my breath catching at the weight of his dreams, my hands trembling with his potential dot. In 1967, at 18, Bernard entered École Polytechnique, France's most elite engineering school, a fortress of stone arches and intellectual rigor in Paris's Latin Quarter. Its halls a gateway to the nation's power brokers, future CEOs of Renault, Total, and AXA, ministers of finance, generals of the Armée de Terre, its motto, "Pour la patrie, les sciences et la gloire," carved in marble above its portico, its letters weathered, its cadets in blue uniforms drilling in courtyards, their sabres glinting under September's sun, their boots echoing, their commands sharp per Forestier. Forestier paints a vivid, almost tactile scene. Bernard, a lanky freshman in a starched white shirt, its cuffs rolled, navy blazer, its buttons brass and polished loafers, their leather creaking, navigating Paris's bustling streets, the scent of fresh croissants, espresso, Gauloise cigarettes, chestnut blossoms, horse manure from police mounts, and petrol from idling taxis thick in the air, the clatter of Vespa scooters, their horns shrill, the honk of Citroën DS taxis, their suspension soft, the chatter of students debating Sartre's being and nothingness, Camus' The Stranger, and de Gaulle's Algeria policy mixing with the hum of May 1968's looming unrest, cobblestone's pride for barricades, the scent of tear gas faint, the graffiti, sous l'épave, la plage, fresh, his heart pounding with possibility in a city of light, art, and ambition, his eyes wide, his breath quickening at the Eiffel Tower's iron lattice piercing the sky, Notre Dame's spires soaring, their gargoyles weathered, the Arc de Triomphe's glow under gaslights, the hum of Paris too, 1,000,000 souls, per Le Monde, 1967. He lived in a cramped dorm, its walls thin, its plaster peeling, its radiator clanking, its single window overlooking a cobblestone courtyard where cadets marched, their boots synchronized, the scent of damp stone, laundry soap, mildew, and wet wool lingering, his desk, a scarred pine slab, littered with graph paper, slide rules, and dog-eared textbooks, calculus by Leithold, mechanics by Landau, thermodynamics by Fermi, linear algebra by Strang, his mind wrestling with Fourier transforms, Laplace equations, tensor calculus, and differential geometry, his coffee cold by dawn, its cup chipped, its handle cracked, his eyes bloodshot but bright with focus, his hands stained with ink, his slide rule clicking, his heart racing with each solved proof, his breath shallow, his Mont Blanc pen scratching, his lamp flickering, its cord frayed, per Forestier. He taped equations to his wall, their symbols neat, his pencil marking errors, his eraser crumbs scattered, his voice soft. Got it. His eyes bright, per a roommate's memoir in Le Figaro 2001. I feel his grind, the weight of late nights, the pressure of proving himself among France's brightest, my own memories of cramming surfacing, the thrill and dread of chasing excellence, the exhaustion that feels like victory, my heart racing with his, my hands trembling with effort, my eyes wet with the intensity of his focus, my breath catching at his resolve. He joined a chess club, his night-carving paths across checkered boards in a smoky common room, its walls hung with faded maps of Napoleonic campaigns, the scent of stale beer, wax polish, Gauloise and sweat thick, his eyes narrowing, his heart racing at each checkmate, his laugh soft but triumphant, a rare chuckle, his opponent, Pierre Dubois, a future Renault CEO, grumbling, "You're too good, Arnaud, damn your patience," his hand slapping the table, its wood scarred, its legs wobbly, per a classmate's memoir in Le Figaro 2001, Bernard's smile subtle, his hands resetting pieces, his mind 3 moves ahead, his breath steady, his eyes bright, his heart stirred by strategy, his cackle absent, his focus a blade, his fingers tapping, per Forestier. He played 10 matches weekly, his notebook scrawled with openings, Sicilian defense, Rui Lopez, his pencil sharp, his eyes fierce, per Le Point 2000. Paris awakened him, the Louvre's marble halls, its Mona Lisa gazing enigmatically, its frame gilded, its winged victory of Samothrace soaring, its stone weathered, its corridors echoing with tourists' whispers, their cameras clicking, the Seine's shimmer under Pont Neuf at dusk, its waters reflecting gaslights, the scent of wet moss, roasted chestnuts, river silt, and barge diesel, the elegance of Christian Dior's Avenue Montaigne boutique, its windows glowing with silk gowns, tailored bar jackets, and Lady Dior bags, their new-look silhouettes, cinched waists, full skirts, 20 yards of silk. His mother's dream, their 1947 debut a symbol of post-war hope, their embroidery hand-stitched, their silk from Lyon, their buttons pearl, his heart stirring with a vision of beauty as power, his fingers brushing the glass, his mind sketching a future where he could wield such allure, his breath fogging the window, his eyes tracing a gown's pearl buttons, his loafers scuffed, his scarf wool, his coat tweed per Forestier. He visited Dior's boutique in 1968, his hands trembling, his voice shy. "May I see the scarves?" The saleswoman's smile polite, her gloves white, her hair pinned, her voice crisp. "Of course, monsieur." The scarf silk, Miss Dior, its jasmine pattern, its edges hemmed, cool, its price 300 francs, his heart sinking, his wallet thin, holding 50 francs, his smile polite. "Thank you, perhaps another time." His breath quickening, his ambition afire, his eyes wet, per a friend's account in Vogue 1995. Forestier notes his summer internships at Ferret-Savenel, his loafers scuffed on construction sites in Lille, his hands dusty from handling rebar, its steel cold, his voice sharp as he directed workers laying concrete for a Roubaix library, its bricks red, its mortar fresh, the scent of cement, sweat, and wet earth thick, his father's nod a rare prize, his clipboard scrawled with cost estimates, material lists, and timelines, his Mont Blanc pen scratching, his ambition hardening like the foundations he oversaw, his heart racing with the thrill of command, his mind calculating margins, his eyes scanning workers, his breath steady, his tie loose per Forestier. He negotiated with a Lille cement supplier in 1969, his voice firm. "Lower your price, monsieur. 45 francs per ton, or we go to Calais." His hands steady, his eyes fierce, his notebook open, the deal saving 50,000 francs, Jean's nod firm. "Well done, son. You're learning." His hand on Bernard's shoulder, his pipe warm, Bernard's heart swelling, his cackle rare, his eyes bright, his breath quickening per a colleague's note in Nord-Eclair 1970. "I'm in awe of his discipline, a young man balancing equations and dreams, his heart set on a legacy, a drive that makes my own goals feel both inspired and small, a call to push harder, to dare more, my chest tightening with admiration, my eyes wet with his resolve, my heart racing with possibility, my hands trembling with his potential, my breath catching at his fire. In 1971, Bernard graduated from École Polytechnique, his degree a ticket to France's elite circles, his rank, top 10%, a badge of pride, his black gown billowing at the ceremony in Palaiseau's auditorium, its chandeliers glowing, its stage draped in tricolour flags, its seats velvet, his parents' applause echoing, Jean's hand firm on his shoulder, his voice low. "You've made us proud, son. Now build something lasting, something eternal." His glasses fogging, his coat tweed, Marie-Joseph's eyes wet, her Dior Miss Dior scarf a bright splash against her navy dress, her fingers clutching a handkerchief, its lace damp, her smile warm, her voice soft. "Mon cher, the world is yours, use it well." Her j'adore lingering, her hair pinned per Forestier. He stood on stage, his diploma heavy, its parchment crisp, its seal wax, his eyes scanning the crowd, his heart racing with possibility, his breath shallow, his loafers polished, his tie knotted, his blazer pressed, his mind sketching futures beyond Roubaix's smokestacks, his ambition a fire that burned bright, his cackle absent, his resolve a blade, his fingers trembling, per a classmate's memoir in Le Monde 1995. He gave a speech, his voice steady. Engineering is vision, its creation, his eyes bright, the crowd's applause soft, his heart swelling, per Le Figaro, 1971. But he returned to Roubaix, joining Ferret Savinel at 22, his heart loyal to family but restless for a larger stage, his mind seeing beyond bridges to empires, his ambition a tide that pulled him forward, his Catholic roots urging duty, his mother's scarf in his drawer a quiet call, its silk cool per Forestier. Forestier describes him in a wood-panelled office, its walls hung with maps of Nord-Pas-de-Calais, their edges curled, their pins rusted, its oak floor creaking, its radiator hissing, his tie knotted, his desk stacked with contracts, blueprints, and a Bakelite rotary phone, its cord tangled, its dials stiff, the scent of ink, sawdust, and his father's pipe smoke, cherry wood, its bowl warm, mingling, his voice firm as he pitched real estate deals to local developers, his hands tracing plans for apartment blocks, their facades brick, their windows sash, their balconies iron, his mind calculating margins, his eyes scanning les echoes, its pages crinkled, its ink smudging, his Mont Blanc pen scratching notes, his heart racing with possibility, his breath steady, his loafers scuffed, his shirt starched, his cufflinks silver per Forestier. He persuaded Jean to pivot from construction to real estate, renaming the firm Ferrinal Inc. in 1979, its focus on luxury villas in Nice and Cannes, their stucco facades gleaming under Riviera sun, their gardens lush with bougainvillea, olive trees, lavender, rosemary, and oleander, their infinity pools reflecting the Mediterranean, their tiles azure, their marble floors cool, their shutters painted cobalt, a shift that doubled revenue to $20 million by 1980 per Forestier's financial dive, the deals inked at Hotel Negresco's mahogany tables, its chandeliers glowing, its carpets Persian, the scent of sea salt, rose, tuberose, and cigar smoke lingering, Bernard's voice steady. "We're building dreams, gentlemen, homes for the elite," his cackle rare, his eyes fierce, his handshake firm with developers, his Mont Blanc signing contracts, its nib scratching, his heart racing, his breath quickening, per Le Figaro 1980. He sketched a Cannes villa, its pool 40 meters, its terrace marble, his pencil sharp, his clients nodding. "Build it, Arnaud," their voices eager, per Le Monde 1980. I feel his audacity, a son steering his father's ship, a legacy reshaped, my chest tightening at the risk, the thrill of transformation, a moment I've felt in smaller ways, daring to challenge the familiar, my heart racing with the stakes, my hands trembling at the thought, my eyes wet with his courage, my breath catching at his vision, his fire a beacon. Bernard's ambition was fierce, his evenings spent poring over financials, his desk lamp burning late, its bulb flickering, its shade green, the hum of Roubaix's textile mills fading, their looms silent, their windows dark, the scent of his mother's Dior Miss Dior scarf, folded in his drawer, its silk cool, its jasmine stitching frayed. whispering elegance, her memory a quiet call to a world of beauty, his heart racing at the idea of Paris's grandeur, his Catholic roots urging stewardship, his hands clasped in prayer, his rosary beads clicking, their ebony cool, his voice silent. Show me the way, Lord. Let me build something eternal. His breath steady, his eyes fixed on the ceiling, its plaster cracked, its corners cobwebbed, his candle flickering per forestier. He traveled to New York in 1974, a fact-finding mission, staying at the Roosevelt Hotel, its lobby faded, its chandeliers dusty, its carpets threadbare, the scent of hot dogs, taxi exhaust, newsstand ink, subway steam, and pretzels thick, his loafers pounding Manhattan's sidewalks, their concrete cracked, their gums smudged, his eyes wide at Trump Tower's construction, its cranes soaring, its steel girders gleaming, the clang of rivets echoing, the hum of welders, his meetings with developers like Harry Helmsley at Le Cirque, the clink of martini glasses, their olives briny, the scent of truffles, cigar smoke, and Chanel perfume. Helmsley's voice gravelly. Real estate's a game, kid. Play hard, trust no one, brand is king. His cufflinks gold, his watch Rolex, sparking ideas. Bernard's voice eager. It's art, it's vision, it's legacy, it's storytelling. His Mont Blanc pen scrawling sketches of condos, their glass facades sharp, their lobbies marble, his heart racing with America's scale, his mind filing lessons in audacity, his ambitions swelling, his breath steaming in November chill, per a colleague's note in Le Monde, 1980. He visited Manhattan's garment district, its streets cluttered with fabric bolts, silk, wool, cotton, the hum of sewing machines, the scent of dye, sweat, thread, and coffee, his eyes tracing Ralph Lauren's windows, their tweed jackets crisp, their buttons horn, his heart stirring, his mind dreaming of elegance, his notebook scrawled, "Beauty sells power," his pencil blunt, per Vogue, 1990. I'm inspired by his hunger, a young man absorbing a new world, my own travels echoing, the thrill of discovery a universal spark, my heart soaring with his, my hands trembling with excitement, my eyes wet with his vision, my breath catching at the possibilities he saw, his fire a call to dream bigger. In 1973, Bernard married Anne de Wavrin, a gentlewoman with soft hazel eyes, a teacher's grace, her voice warm, a mezzo-soprano, her smile quiet, her strength rooted, her family tied to Roubaix's textile trade, their wool mills, de Wavrin Frères, founded 1880, supplying Paris's tailors, their looms humming and tourcoing, their bolts shipped to Lanvin, Balenciaga, and Givenchy, their order book 1 million francs in 1970, Per Le Figaro 1975, her hands knitting scarves, their wool soft, their patterns cable knit, her cardigan cashmere, her skirt wool, per Forestier. Their wedding in Église Saint-Pierre was intimate, the church's stained glass glowing under June sun, its rose window casting reds and blues, its bells chiming, her silk gown sheer, its train lace hand-embroidered, its veil tulle trailing, his navy suit tailored by a Lille Sartoria, its lapels sharp, its buttons horn, his vows earnest. I'll build a life for us, Anne, a world for you, I swear it. His hand trembling as he slipped a gold band on her finger, its engraving, toujours, gleaming, its edges smooth, the organ's chords soaring, its pipes trembling, the scent of lilies, tuberose, wax, and myrrh filling the air. Jean's nod firm, his glasses glinting, his suit tweed, Marie-Joseph's eyes wet, her Dior Miss Dior scarf bright, its jasmine vivid, her handkerchief laced, her voice soft. Be her anchor, Bernard, her j'adore lingering per Forestier. The reception was modest, 50 guests at Auberge du Vieux Roubaix, its tables oak, its napkins linen, the menu handwritten, coq au vin, tarte aux pommes, the clink of wine glasses, the scent of rosemary and claret. Bernard's smile shy, his hand on Anne's, her fingers cool, her bracelet silver, per Nord Eclair 1973. They settled in Lille, their home a modest flat at 3 Rue de la Paix, its high ceilings adorned with plaster moulding, its rosettes chipped, its parquet floors creaking, its walls papered in soft blue, the scent of Anne's lavender soap lingering, her cakes baking in a tin oven, their evenings filled with laughter, Bernard's voice soft as he debated Molière's Tartuffe with her, his hands gesturing, his glasses slipping, her eyes bright, her laugh melodic, her hands clutching a teacup, its porcelain chipped, its pattern willow, their love a quiet symphony, the clink of wine glasses, their stems crystal, the crackle of a fireplace grounding them, the scent of oak logs, Bordeaux wax, and lavender candle, their curtains velvet per Forestier. They welcomed Delphine in 1975 and Antoine in 1977, their giggles echoing, the clatter of wooden toys on parquet floors, their blocks painted red, blue, yellow, their edges chipped, the scent of Anne's coq au vin wafting from a Le Creuset pot, its enamel blue, its lid heavy, Bernard reading Le Petit Prince to them, his voice soft, a gentle baritone, his fingers turning pages, their paper yellowed, their illustrations faded, his heart swelling as Delphine's small hand clutched his. "Papa, fly me to the stars." Her eyes bright, her pigtails bouncing, her dress cotton, Antoine's chubby fingers pointing at illustrations, their rose glowing, their laughter a balm, their cheeks flushed, their pajamas flannel, a tenderness I feel deeply, picturing my own family moments, their warmth a universal thread that binds us, my heart racing with their joy, my eyes wet with love, my breath catching at their innocence, my chest tightening with their bond. Delphine's first word, "Papa," at 12 months made Bernard's eyes wet, his voice cracking, "My star!" His arms lifting her, her giggle escaping, her curls damp, the scent of her baby soap, lavender, chamomile lingering, her onesie cotton per Anne's diary, cited in Vogue 2020. Antoine's first steps, at 11 months, wobbled across the parlor, his shoes tiny, his hands reaching for Bernard, his laugh a squeal, Bernard's cackle rare, his heart racing, his voice low. "Mon petit prince, you're walking," his hands catching him, his suit vest rumpled per Forestier. Bernard carved a wooden horse for Delphine, its mane yarn, his knife precise, his fingers smudged, her smile wide. "Papa, it's magic." Her voice high, his eyes wet, per Le Point 1995. But Bernard's mind was restless. His evenings spent sketching Farinel's expansion, his phone buzzing with bankers from Credit Lyonnais, their voices clipped, their telexes urgent, his desk littered with contracts, his Montblanc pen scratching, his lamp flickering, its shade cracked, his heart torn between family and ambition. Anne's sighs a quiet plea, her voice low. "You're always working, Bernard. Be here, please. They need you." Her eyes searching his, her hands clutching a teacup, its steam fading, her scarf wool, her hair pinned, her cardigan frayed, his nod silent, his guilt a shadow, his cackle absent, his heart aching, his eyes distant, his glasses fogging, per a friend's account in Le Figaro 1985. Their dinners grew quiet, the clink of cutlery loud, the scent of Anne's lavender fading, their love fraying, their voices hushed, the fireplace cold, its ashes grey, their 1990 divorce a wound he carried silently, his heart shattering as he kissed Delphine and Antoine goodbye on weekends, their small hands waving from Anne's doorstep, their voices small, "Come back soon, Papa," their eyes wet, their coats wool, his voice cracking. "I will, mes amours, I promise." His Peugeot 605's engine humming, its leather seats cool, its dashboard oak, his eyes wet, his hands gripping the wheel, his breath shallow, his Montblanc pen idle, per Delphine's memoir in Vogue 2020. The divorce, finalized in Lille's Palais de Justice, its courtroom oak-panelled, its benches hard, was bitter, Anne's voice steady. "They need their mother, Bernard." Her hands folded, her coat wool, her scarf silk, Bernard's voice low. "I'm their father, Anne, always." His suit rumpled, his tie loose, his eyes wet, the judge's gavel echoing, its wood worn, their custody shared, their love a scar, per Le Point 1990. Bernard drove to their school, his heart aching, their drawings, crayon houses, tucked in his briefcase, their paper crumpled, his voice soft. "Show me your art, mes chers," their giggles grounding him, per Vogue 2020. I'm heartbroken for him, a father torn by his fire, my chest tightening at the cost of ambition, a balance I've wrestled with, the ache of missing moments that can't be reclaimed, my heart aching for their pain, my eyes wet with empathy, my breath catching at their loss, my hands trembling with the weight of their sorrow, my soul stirred by their love. In 1981, Bernard moved to the US, fleeing France's socialist wave under President François Mitterrand, whose 110% wealth tax on assets over 5 million francs, nationalizations of 39 banks, steel and textiles, and 35-hour workweek loomed. His heart heavy but pragmatic, his family settling in New Rochelle, New York, a leafy suburb 20 miles north of Manhattan, their colonial home at 42 Elmwood Avenue modest, its clapboard white, its shutters green, its lawn dotted with maples, their leaves crimson in October, the scent of fresh paint, apple pie from a neighbor's oven, autumn leaves and wood smoke welcoming, the hum of lawnmowers, school buses, and children's laughter grounding per Forestier. The move was wrenching, Anne's voice soft. "Why so far, Bernard? They're so young." Her eyes wet, her hands packing Delphine's dolls, their porcelain chipped, their dresses cotton, Bernard's voice steady. "It's for our future, Anne, for their future." His hands lifting suitcases, their leather worn, his heart aching, his Mont Blanc pen idle, his eyes distant, his glasses fogging, per Forestier. He launched Farinel's U.S. arm, targeting Florida's condo boom, its palm-lined coasts buzzing with retirees, snowbirds and investors, its market up 15% in 1980, per the Wall Street Journal 1981. His office in Palm Beach, a Spartan suite above a Wells Fargo branch, its walls beige, its carpet thin, its window overlooking Ocean Boulevard, the hum of air conditioning constant, the scent of salt water, suntan lotion, hibiscus and jasmine drifting, his voice sharp on calls with developers, his hands sketching waterfront towers, their glass facades sharp, their balconies wide, his mind racing with margins, his heart set on proving himself in America's cutthroat market, his Mont Blanc pen scrawling pro formas, his eyes scanning the Wall Street Journal, its pages crinkled, its ink smudging, his loafers scuffed, his tie loose, his shirt rumpled, per Forestier. Forestier recounts a 1983 deal. Bernard pitching a $50 million condo project to Miami's mayor, Alex Daoud, in a city hall boardroom, its walls hung with palm tree murals, its table teak, its chairs leather, his navy suit crisp, his French accent softening, his slides showing glass towers with Art Deco curves, their lobbies marble, their pools infinity, his heart pounding as Daoud leaned forward, his cigar pausing, its ash falling, his voice gruff. "You're in, Arnaud, don't screw it up, Miami's watching." His watch Rolex, the deal netting $10 million profit, signed at Vizcaya's marble tables, its gardens lush, its fountains bubbling, the scent of hibiscus, Cuban coffee, sea salt and cigar smoke lingering. Bernard's cackle rare but real, his eyes gleaming, his handshake firm, his Mont Blanc signing, its nib scratching, his heart racing, his breath quickening, per a partner's note in the Wall Street Journal, 1984. He negotiated with a Miami contractor, his voice firm. "Cut your steel costs 10% less or we're done," his hands steady, his eyes fierce, his notebook open, its pages graph, the deal saving $2 million, his cackle echoing, his heart swelling, his breath quickening, his glasses fogging, per Miami Herald 1983. I feel his thrill, a foreigner conquering new soil, my pulse quickening at the stakes. A moment I've dreamed of in smaller bets, the rush of breaking through, my heart soaring with his, my hands trembling with excitement, my eyes wet with his triumph, my breath catching at his audacity, my chest tightening with his fire. He met Donald Trump at a 1982 gala at the Pierre Hotel, its ballroom gilded, its chandeliers sparkling, its tables draped in damask, Trump's gold cufflinks flashing, his voice booming. "You're the French guy, huh? Build big, Bernard, like me, skyscrapers, not shacks. Brand is everything." His hair swept, his tie red, per Bloomberg 2016. Their handshake firm, Bernard's smile polite, his heart wary, his Catholic humility clashing with Trump's bravado, his mind filing the encounter, a lesson in audacity, his notebook scrawled with Trump's quips, "Name's your power," his pencil blunt, his eyes narrowing, his ambition stirred, his breath steady, per Forestier. He visited Trump's sites, his loafers dusty, his eyes tracing cranes, their cables taut, his heart racing with scale, his voice soft. This is power, raw and loud, his notebook open, per a colleague's note in Le Figaro, 1990. But America wasn't home. Anne missed Lille's cobblestone streets, her family's Sunday lunches, the scent of her mother's tarte tatin, its apples caramelized, her voice soft. This isn't us, Bernard, it's too loud. Her eyes wet, her hands knitting, her needles clicking. Delphine and Antoine struggled with English, their voices small at school. Papa, when are we going back? Their eyes pleading, their backpacks heavy, their coats wool, his heart aching, his voice soft. Soon, mes chers, soon, I promise. His hands stroking their hair, their curls soft, his resolve to return hardening, his Mont Blanc idle, his eyes distant, his glasses fogging, per Forestier. In 1983, Mitterrand's policies eased, the wealth tax softened to 75%, banks were privatized, per Les Echos 1983, and Bernard returned to France, his heart set on Paris, his mind on a legacy, his US stint a crucible that sharpened his edge, his ambition a fire that burned brighter, his family's strain a quiet scar, his eyes fixed on the horizon, his heart racing with purpose, his breath steady, his Mont Blanc pen poised, his suit rumpled per Forestier. He wrote to Jean, America taught me scale, France is my soul, his handwriting neat, his envelope stamped per Le Point 1995. I feel his resolve, a man tested by exile, my heart racing with his return, my chest tightening with his fire, my eyes wet with his grit, my hands trembling with his vision, my breath catching at his journey, my soul stirred by his courage. In 1984, Bernard seized a defining chance, a gamble that would birth his legend, acquiring Boussac Saint-Frère, a bankrupt textile conglomerate owning Christian Dior, for $80 million, $15 million his own savings, the rest from Lazard Frères, Antoine Bernheim, a silver-haired banker with a clipped voice, steely eyes, a Patek Philippe watch, and a Rolodex of Paris's elite, who saw his fire, per Forestier. The deal was a high-wire act, France's textile industry crumbling under Asian competition, Boussac's debts $200 million, its 12 factories, Lille, Roubaix, Amiens, Troyes, shuttered, their looms silent, their steel frames rusted, their windows cracked, their floors littered with cotton scraps, their air thick with dust, their order books empty, 8,000 jobs at risk per Le Monde 1984. Boussac's mills, once weaving for Chanel, Balenciaga and Lanvin, were relics, their workers unpaid, their unions, CGT-FO, striking, their banners red, their chants loud per Liberation 1984. Forestier paints a vivid, almost breathless scene. Bernard in a Paris boardroom at Lazard's Boulevard Haussmann office. Its walls panelled in walnut, its chandelier glowing, its carpet Aubusson, its air heavy with Bernheim's Cuban cigar smoke, its scent earthy, leather chairs creaking, his navy suit crisp, his Dior silk tie subtle, its knot Windsor, his voice steady but eyes fierce, pitching to pinstriped executives, their cufflinks gold, their watches Rolex, their pens Parker, his hands tracing Dior's potential on a flip chart, its ink smudging, his Mont Blanc pen pointing, his heart pounding as Bernheim leaned forward, his gold pen pausing, his voice gruff. You've got it, son. Don't let us down. Dior's a jewel, but Boussac's a corpse. His glasses glinting, the room silent but for the tick of a Louis XV grandfather clock. Its chimes soft, its pendulum brass, Bernard's nod firm, his cackle suppressed, his mind racing with plans, his breath shallow, his hands steady, his Mont Blanc signing the term sheet, its nib scratching, its ink blue, his heart racing with stakes that could ruin or crown him, his eyes bright, his loafers polished, his shirt starched per Forestier. He sketched Dior's revival on a napkin, its margins scrawled, his pencil blunt, Bernheim's nod subtle, bold Arnault, his voice low per Le Figaro 1985. I'm on edge, feeling his stakes, the weight of millions, my pulse racing at his nerve. A moment I've dreamed of in smaller leaps, the thrill of a make-or-break bet. My hands trembling at the thought, my heart pounding with his, my eyes wet with his audacity, my breath catching at the scale of his gamble, my chest tightening with his fire. Boussac was a ruin, its mills decaying, their red brick walls crumbling, their smokestacks cold, their roofs leaking, their workers protesting outside Bernard's office at 10 Rue de la Paix, their banners reading Arnault to Sassan, their voices hoarse, their boots stomping, their hands waving placards, their ink smudged, the scent of diesel, sweat, rain, and wet wool thick, their faces etched with despair, their coats threadbare per Liberation, 1984. Bernard met union leaders, his voice calm. "I'll save Dior, but the mills are gone, I'm sorry." His hands folded, his suit rumpled, his tie loose, their voices sharp. "You're killing us, Arnault, you're heartless." Their fists clenched, their caps wool, his heart heavy, his nod silent, his eyes distant, his glasses fogging per Le Monde, 1984. But Dior was its jewel, its Avenue Montaigne atelier, a shrine of silk, tulle, and sequins, its new-look gowns, cinched waists, flowing skirts, 20 yards of silk, 30 hours of stitching. His mother's dream. Their 1947 debut under Christian Dior himself, a symbol of post-war hope, their patterns preserved in dusty archives, their paper brittle, their ink faded, their legacy fading under Boussac's mismanagement, their seamstresses, les petites mains, 50 women, their hands calloused, their fingers pricked, hunched over oak tables, their needles flashing, their eyes weary, their aprons cotton, their scissors sharp, the scent of starch, thread, and beeswax lingering per Forestier. Bernard saw salvation, his heart set on reviving Dior, his hands steady as he signed layoffs. 4,000 workers, their families pleading in letters, their ink smudged with tears, their envelopes crumpled, their handwriting shaky, his heart heavy, his voice low to aides. It's the only way to save Dior, to save beauty, to honor her. His Catholic guilt a shadow. His mother's Miss Dior scarf on his desk a talisman, its silk cool under his fingers, its jasmine vivid, her memory a guide, his eyes wet, his breath catching, his Mont Blanc idol, his glasses fogging per Forestier. He sold Boussac's mills, keeping Dior, investing $50 million to modernize its atelier, its sewing machines humming, their steel gleaming, their bobbins spinning, its bolts of silk from Lyon glowing, their colors, ivory, crimson, sapphire, emerald, vibrant, their threads mercerized, hiring young designers like Gianfranco Ferré, an Italian with a flair for drama, his sketches bold, his voice loud. Dior must dazzle, its theatre, his glasses wire, his scarf silk, per Vogue 1985. Ferré's 1985 shows dazzled Paris Fashion Week at Palais Garnier, its gold leaf glowing, its chandeliers sparkling, its velvet seats creaking, their sequined gowns shimmering under spotlights, their embroidery, pearls, gold thread, Swarovski crystals, 10,000 per gown, hand-stitched by Les Petites Mains, their fingers bleeding, their 1,500 stitches per gown precise, their thimbles silver, Vogue calling it Dior's Resurrection, its 1985 cover bold, crowds of 1,500 roaring, Anna Wintour's pen pausing, her glasses glinting, Susie Menkes's notebook scrawled, André Leon Talley's voice booming, "Dior's back!" Bernard's nod subtle, his heart racing with vindication, his cackle rare but real in a backroom toast, his glass of Moet and Chandon raised, its bubbles dancing, his voice low, "To Dior, to eternity, to my mother's dream," his eyes gleaming, his suit rumpled, his tie loose, his cufflink silver, per a Dior AIDS note in Vogue 1985. He met Les Petites Mains, his voice soft. "You're Dior's heart, mesdames." Their eyes wet, their hands trembling, their aprons crisp, their scissors tucked, his hand shaking theirs, his heart swelling, his smile warm, per Forestier. I'm in awe of his vision, saving a legend from ashes, my heart swelling at the beauty he preserved, a reminder of art's power, my own creative sparks flickering, inspired by his daring, my eyes wet with admiration, my hands trembling with excitement, my breath catching at the gown's glow, my heart racing with his triumph, my chest tightening with his fire. His nickname, the Terminator, was born per Le Monde, 1985, his cuts ruthless, his focus laser-sharp, his reputation a double-edged sword, his heart wrestling with the cost, his hands clasped in Église Saint-Sulpice, its pews cool, its organ humming, its candles flickering, the scent of incense, myrrh and wax grounding his prayers, his voice silent, "Forgive me, Lord, guide my path, let me do right." His rosary beads clicking, their ebony cool, his eyes wet, his breath steady, his suit rumpled, per a friend's account in Le Point 1986, his Catholic faith a quiet anchor, his ambition a fire that burned through guilt, his Mont Blanc idol, his heart complex, his soul a battlefield per Forestier. He lit a candle for the workers, its wax dripping, his voice soft, for their families, his eyes wet, per Vogue 1995. I feel his struggle, a man torn by duty and desire, my heart aching for his guilt, my chest tightening with his resolve, my eyes wet with his humanity, my hands trembling with his pain, my breath catching at the weight of his choices, my soul stirred by his complexity. In 1987, Bernard entered LVMH, a fragile merger of Louis Vuitton's leather goods and Moet Hennessy's wines, invited by Vuitton's chairman Henri Racamier, a patrician with a clipped moustache, Savile Row suits, a gold watch chain, and a voice like gravel, who saw Bernard as a junior partner, underestimating the engineer's fire, per Forestier. The merger, forged in 1987, was shaky. Vuitton's monogram bags, hand-stitched in Asnières, their leather tanned in Tuscany, their canvas coated, their zippers brass, clashing with Moet's champagne, its bubbles fermented in Rheims chalk caves, their walls cool, their bottles hand-turned, and Hennessy's cognac, its amber aged in cognac's oak barrels, their staves charred, their air earthy, their executives bickering over budgets, their boardroom at 22 Avenue Montaigne tense, its walls hung with Vuitton ads, their frames gilt, the scent of leather binders, Racamier's Creed Aventus cologne, cedar, musk, and espresso thick, per Le Figaro 1987. LVMH's profits were flat at €1 billion, its brands siloed, its CEOs, Vuitton's Yves Carcel, Moet's Alain Chevalier, Hennessy's Bernard Payon, clashing, their voices sharp. "Vuitton carries us," Carcel's fist on the table, his cufflink silver. Moet's heritage is unmatched, Chevalier's eyes narrowing, his tie silk, Hennessy's global, Payon's voice low, his watch Patek, per LVMH's 1987 minutes, cited in Forestier. Forestier details the coup with gripping, almost cinematic clarity. Bernard, allied with Guinness plc's Sir Anthony Tennant, a British magnate with a clipped accent, Oxford tie, a Bentley and steely resolve, invested $1.5 billion for a 24% stake. His office at Farinell a war room, its walls lined with LVMH financials, their pages dog-eared, their margins red, its mahogany desk littered with telexes, share counts, and espresso cups, their porcelain chipped, their saucers stained, the scent of roasted beans, ink, Gauloises, and sweat thick, his phone buzzing with London bankers from Barclays, their voices clipped, their telexes coded, his voice calm but eyes fierce, his hands scrawling share counts, his Mont Blanc pen scratching, his heart pounding as he outmaneuvered Racamier, buying shares through offshore trusts in Luxembourg, their accounts coded, their balances hidden, his stake hitting 43. 5% by January 1990, Racamier's boardroom ousted, his exit bitter, his voice sharp. "You betrayed me, Arnault, you snake, you'll ruin Vuitton's soul." His fist slamming a Vuitton financial, its pages scattering, his glasses fogging, his tie loose, per Le Figaro 1990. Bernard's nod silent, his cackle absent, his heart steady, his mind on empire, his breath even, his eyes fixed on the prize, his suit rumpled, his shirt creased, his cufflinks loose, per Forestier. He met Racamier's team, his voice calm. "We'll build an empire together, a constellation." Their eyes wary, their hands folded, Carcel's nod subtle. "Prove it, Arnault." His voice low, his pen Parker, per Le Monde 1990. I feel his cunning, a chess master's checkmate, my heart racing at his audacity. a game I've played in smaller arenas, the thrill of outsmarting giants, my hands trembling at the stakes, my pulse pounding with his, my eyes wet with his nerve, my breath catching at his brilliance, my chest tightening with his fire. LVMH was a patchwork, its brands siloed, their ateliers scattered, Vuitton's Asnières factory, its leather cutters precise, their knives sharp, Moet's Epinay vineyards, their grapes hand-picked, their vines pruned, Hennessy's cognac distillery, its stills copper, its barrels oak. But Bernard saw a galaxy, his heart set on a luxury empire, his hands sketching synergies on napkins at Café de Flore, its tables marble, its chairs wicker, the scent of Gauloise, croissants, espresso, and rain lingering, his voice hypnotic in boardrooms. We'll define desire, make luxury a way of life from Tokyo's Ginza to Texas Rodeo Drive, from Milan to Mumbai. His eyes locking with executives, his cackle echoing as they nodded, his vision infectious, his Mont Blanc pen pointing, his glasses glinting per Forestier. He acquired Christian Lacroix in 1987, its poof dresses bold, their taffeta rustling, their skirts 10 yards. Givenchy in 1988, its tailored gowns elegant, their silk flowing, their buttons pearl, and Kenzo in 1993, its floral kimonos vibrant, their patterns hand-dyed, their hems raw, their ateliers humming with scissors, thread, and singer machines, their needles flashing, their bobbins spinning, their runways dazzling Paris with Lacroix's 1988 Baroque gowns, their embroidery gold, their sequins 5,000 per gown, Givenchy's 1989 black dresses, their lines sharp, their collars crisp, Kenzo's 1994 silk tunics, their colors vivid, their sleeves wide, his heart racing at each show, his nod subtle, his ambition a tide, his Mont Blanc signing checks, his eyes gleaming, his suit crisp, his tie silk per Forestier. He added Loewe's leather in 1996, its bags buttery, their stitching precise, their zippers brass, Celine's minimalist silks in 1996, their dresses flowing, their hems raw, their buttons bone, Berluti's patinated shoes in 1993, their leather glowing, their soles hand-stitched, their laces waxed, Fred Joillet's sapphire gems in 1995, their facets sparkling, their settings platinum, their clasps gold, DFS's duty-free shops in 1996, their counters bustling, their shelves stocked with 10,000 SQs, and Sephora's beauty counters in 1997, their lipsticks vibrant, their testers smudged, their mirrors lit, each deal a conquest, his cackle triumphant, his hands signing contracts, his heart pounding, his breath quickening, LVMH's revenue hitting €4 billion by 1995, €7 billion by 1998, per LVMH's archives. Its 1,000 stores from Milan's Via Monte Napoleone to Hong Kong's Causeway Bay buzzing, its 50,000 employees a global army, its artisans, 1,000 tanners, seamstresses, vintners, jewelers, its soul per Vogue 1998. He visited Vuitton's Asnières factory, his loafers echoing on oak floors, his voice soft. Your hands create history, mes amis. The cutter's eyes wet, their knives sharp, their aprons leather, his hand shaking theirs, his heart swelling, his smile warm per Forestier. I'm dazzled by his scope, a man weaving dreams into commerce, my own ambitions feeling small but sparked, his empire a testament to daring greatly, a call to build something enduring, my heart racing with possibility, my eyes wet with awe, my hands trembling with excitement, my breath catching at his vision, my chest tightening with his fire dot. The 1990s were Bernard's crucible, his vision tested by global recessions, fierce rivalries, and public scrutiny, his heart a battleground of pride, pressure, and quiet guilt, his ambition a fire that burned through obstacles but left scars, his soul a tapestry of triumphs, regrets, and quiet doubts. Forestier recounts a 1995 Paris Fashion Week, Bernard in Dior's front row at the Carrousel du Louvre, its marble floors gleaming, its skylights glowing, its air cool, its seats velvet, his charcoal suit tailored by Givenchy, its lapels sharp, its buttons horn, his eyes hidden behind tortoiseshell sunglasses, his hands folded, his Mont Blanc pen idle. John Galliano's debut collection storming the runway, bias-cut gowns in crimson silk flowing like wine, their sequins catching spotlights, their hems trailing, their skirts 15 yards, les petites mains embroidery, pearls, gold thread, Swarovski crystals, 20,000 per gown, sparkling, their 2,000 stitches per gown precise, their fingers bleeding, their thimbles silver, the crowd of 2,000 roaring, Anna Wintour's pen pausing, her glasses glinting, Susie Menkes's notebook scrawled, André Leontali's voice booming, Dior's alive, it's divine. Women's Wear Daily dubbing him the Pope of Fashion, its 1995 headline bold, its ink fresh, his nod subtle, his heart swelling with pride, his cackle rare but real in a backstage toast, his glass of Dom Perignon raised, its bubbles dancing, its flute crystal, his voice low. Galliano's a genius, he's Dior, he's eternity. His eyes gleaming, his hand on Galliano's shoulder, his suit rumpled, his tie loose, his cufflinks loose per a Dior aids note in Vogue 1995. He met Galliano backstage, his voice soft. You've honored my mother, John. Galliano's eyes wet, his hands trembling, his eyeliner smudged, his jacket velvet, their embrace brief, the scent of champagne, tuberose, and sweat lingering per Forestier. I feel his triumph, the thrill of creation, my chest tightening at the beauty, a moment I've chased in my own work, the rush of seeing a vision live, my heart soaring with the crowd, my eyes wet with the gown's glow, my hands trembling with excitement, my breath catching at the magic of it all, my soul stirred by the art. He hired Marc Jacobs for Vuitton in 1997, Alexander McQueen for Givenchy in 1996, their youth a gamble, their sketches bold, their voices loud. We'll shock them. Jacobs' drawl, his tattoos peeking. We'll cut deeper. McQueen's growl, his boots scuffed, their shows redefining luxury. Jacobs' 1998 monogram graffiti bags, their neon logos bold, spray-painted by Steven Sprouse, their canvas stretched, their zippers brass. McQueen's 1997 razor-sharp tailoring, its leather corsets daring, their buttons bone, their seams raw, their linings silk, sales soaring 20% to €7 billion by 1998, per LVMH's reports, Vuitton's Champs-Élysées store mobbed, its queues,